This is the marble machine, and in this video I want to show you how it works. What I want to explain first is how the drums work. These are contact microphones in here. Let me show you how it looks. Swedish contact microphones from Lund. The difference between a contact microphone and a normal microphone is that they take up the vibrations from the touch and not through the air. So they are hidden inside here. And then when the marble hits the coaster, it will sound like a kick drum. And then when the marble hits the coaster, it will sound like a kick drum. The snare drum is two coasters with a contact microphone and a box filled with basmati rice. And I'm going to actually show you how it sounds without the rice, because the rice is what's doing the whole snare-ish kind of sound. So now all the rice is gone from the snare drum, and then it sounds like this. If I have a marble playing it. So to hear the snare drum with the rice, again we're going to refill it with some rice. So the rice is back in the snare drum, and now it sounds like this. If I have a marble playing it. If I have a marble playing it. The hi-hat also has the contact microphone and is made out of a matchbox. So this is how the drums works, and I wanted to specifically show this because maybe it's hard to understand how they can sound so much like real drums. But it's actually because they're recorded on individual tracks. I can edit the audio really hard, which I also have done. So, and I can make them sound really the crash cymbal. I drilled some holes in the cymbal to add this little metal wire to make the sizzle sound. And this was a really nice cymbal, and I wanted it to be color coded with the rest of the machine, which is like gray, so I spray painted it. And before it was like sounding like heaven, and now it sounds like a piece of garbage. On the bass guitar, the open strings has a little special tuning. It's E and G and E 1 octave up and G 1 octave up. So the marbles placed like the standard right hand, like the pick hand, the marbles placed, and I can play the left hand, so I can change the chords like this. E and G and E 1 octave up and G 1 octave up. So this is a vibraphone, and why is it a vibraphone? Yes, it has a built-in vibrato. Like the difference between a glockenspiel, which would be this thing, is that this has no vibrato. This axis comes from the crank on the other side, and this powers this thing that opens and closes openings under the bars to create the vibrato effect. So if I hit this one here and I don't touch this, it has no vibrato, but if it makes the vibrato. Okay, so now I want to tell you about the gear train and the gear ratio for this machine, and this is very important because it's the gear ratio that makes the crank go in time with the music. And the gear ratio from the crank to the big programming wheel is 1 to 64. And this means 1 to 64 means that when I do 64 revolutions on the crank, like 1, 2, 3, 4, when I do 64 rounds, this wheel has made 1 full revolution. You see on the black lines, I hold my finger there and I make 1 revolution of the crank. The programming wheel will move that amount. These numbers here on the side of the programming wheel is a visual reference to make me know where in the loop I am. So 1 turn of the crank will put 1 figure higher, and we have 64 in total on the whole programming wheel. The beats of the drums will always come when the crank is in the down position. So this helps me to play tight, like doom, down, 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 down. This is the first gear that is on the same axis as the crank, where everything starts. It has 20 teeth. This gear has 30 teeth, and it's only there to invert the direction of the movement, to make it go in the opposite direction. This gear has 100 teeth, and on the same axis as this gear, we have a small gear in here with 10 teeth. And this small gear drives the big programming wheel that has 127 teeth. And on this axis, we're also driving the belt for the marble elevator. If you want to make wooden gears for your own project, it's actually not that hard. I have a video showing how I'm cutting the big gear for the programming wheel using Matthias Wandel's gear generator software. You just put in the number of teeth you want and you get a template that you can print out on A4 paper, and it's super fun to use, and I'll put a link in the description to that computer program. This program was actually one of the biggest inspirations to build this machine at all. When I found it, I wanted to use it and make something with it. So in order to keep the marbles always falling straight, I've installed this water leveler thing there. And to adjust it, I have screws in the bottom of the legs that I can adjust with a wrench. I saw now that the machine was a little wrong, so then I can just higher this side of the machine. How does it look now, Hannes?
A little more.
More? Still?
That's quite good.
So this is the programming wheel. This is like the computer part of the marble machine. It's built by Lego Technique parts, and it's 2 sections, 1 and 2, and this section is for the vibraphone only, and this section is for all the drums, the bass and the cymbal. And the way you program it is that you put these little nails in. These are standard Lego Technique nails. So what these nails actually do is that when they travel on the programming wheel like this, they will engage with the lifting fingers like this, that will release the marble. So when you put them in there, the vibraphone will play its lowest note. And just to make a demonstration, we can move up. So this programming will result in the vibraphone playing from its lowest note up to its highest. You want to see that?
Yes, please.
Yes. So we're gonna make the same test with the rest of the instrument. We're gonna put a kick drum, a snare drum, hi-hat goes there. The lowest note on the bass, the G on the bass, the high E on the bass, the high G on the bass, and finish off with a crash cymbal. Do tsh, tsh, boom 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 boom, crash. Thank you for watching part 1 of this How It Works series. Part 2 covers marble gates, marble distribution, mute system, design mistakes, and also how the song works.